The French court has ruled that the leader of the National Rally, Marine Le Pen, has been stripped of her ability to stand for election. This means that she will not be able to run in the 2027 presidential elections. I've said before that this is a trial made by politicians, or even for politics. And Marine Le Pen is not wrong. Her party is the undisputed leader in the polls. She poses a real threat to the incumbent president, Emmanuel Macron, who has very low approval ratings. It is unprecedented in Europe after 1945 for the leader of the biggest opposition party, who is leading in the polls, to be excluded by court order, even though she gets a better result every election. The sentence prohibits her from running for public office for the next 5 years. This is a decision of the court of first instance, so normally there would be a right to appeal the court's decision. The problem is that, just a few days ago, the Constitutional Council of France changed the law on this issue. The sentence is already in force. It is possible that she will appeal the verdict and be acquitted in the second instance. But in the meantime, the election will take place. So she will not be able to run in the election. This situation was made possible by the ruling of the Constitutional Council, which, on Friday, 3 days before the verdict, decided that the president of this constitutional court, who is also a politician from Macron's party, could already exclude her from the elections. Is this the all-new European model of democracy? All indications are that the so-called European elites do not want right-wing parties to come to power. This is confirmed by the example of Romania, where first, the victory of the right-wing Călin Georgescu in the first round of the presidential elections was annulled, and at the beginning of March, the Central Electoral Commission annulled his candidacy in the repeated presidential elections scheduled for May. What is happening in Romania is just the first episode in which the unelected elites in Brussels are trying to take all power in 27 European countries. We were a testing ground for them, and they will try to do it again. George Simion, the current frontrunner in the presidential election in Romania, said something similar could happen in Poland in May's presidential election. We are facing the same threats to democracy, because when Karol Nawrocki makes it to the second round and wins the presidential election, they will do the same as in Romania. They don't want the Trump MAGA wave to come to Europe. The EU elites have their own candidate in the Polish presidential race, Rafał Trzaskowski, who fits their vision of a Polish foreign policy submissive towards Brussels and Berlin. If the EU elites candidate wins, then all procedures will have been followed. But if someone else wins, they'll find some reason to not recognize the result. These are the so-called European values that the commissioners in Brussels so often invoke. The European model of democracy is when a candidate who subscribes to a left-wing worldview wins. Preparations for a possible annulment of the election in Poland are already taking place. A special team is working at the Internal Security Agency to investigate the reasons for the annulment of the presidential elections in Romania. This may mean that work is already underway on various scenarios that could result in the annulment of the presidential elections in Poland. The ruling coalition wanted the 3 joint chambers of the Supreme Court to decide on the validity of the elections. However, President Andrzej Duda vetoed the law that was supposed to make this possible. Why does the ruling party want to change the law if the election is to be recognized by the Chamber of Extraordinary Control in Public Affairs of the Supreme Court? To maintain democracy as they understand it. This, of course, refers to the European model of democracy. We are in a state of fighting democracy. The Brussels elite do not want a candidate from outside their circle to win in Poland. That is why the European Commission is already preparing a round table on the Polish presidential elections. The European Commission is in contact with Poland regarding the organization of a round table before the presidential elections. This could mean open interference in Poland's internal affairs and influence the campaign and elections, which are the exclusive competence of Poland, as enshrined in the Constitution. In the face of their friends in the USA's Democratic Party losing power in America, the EU elites have chosen to double down on authoritarian measures. Should they successfully install their candidates, free elections in Europe may become a thing of the past. This means that future elections are of crucial importance, and the best way to protect them is mass voter turnout.